So, kia ora koto katoa e te whanau. That means good morning and happy day, family. So, it is 8 o'clock here in New Zealand on a Tuesday, but it is 1 p.m. in Canada, I understand. So, it's really amazing that we are making the world a smaller place with the connection that we have using and utilizing technology. And today we are going to be learning about how we can use technology more in order to connect our residents and clients in a way that to further enhance our engagement and connection. So just as we do in New Zealand, we always begin our gathering, our session with a karakia, a blessing. So if we can invite everyone to put ourselves in a respectful place, and let us begin this wonderful day with a blessing. Whakatakateho ke te uro, whakatakateho ke te tonga, kia mā kina ki uta, kia mā taratara ke tai, e hi aki ana te atakura, hitcho he huka he hauhou, dihei mauriora, which means seize the wind from the west, seize the wind from the south, let the breeze blow over the land, let the breeze blow over the ocean, let the red-tipped dawn come with a sharpened air, a touch of frost, a promise that today will be a glorious day for all of us. Amen. Amen. So thank you very much, everyone. And thank you very much for joining us in this very early in the New Zealand morning. And I understand some of you are still preparing breakfast, some of you are driving to work, and some of you are already in work. So kia kaha, strength to everyone. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our wonderful guest this morning that will be sharing to us some valuable additional tools in our food basket. And as we have a saying in New Zealand, we hope that natororo na takororo ka ora ai te iwi, which means with your food basket and my food basket, our people will thrive. So sharing of knowledge and skills is one thing that we really love doing here. So ladies and gentlemen, our presenter today are the husband and wife team behind Echobox Memory Vault, driven by a shared passion for improving the lives of seniors and the caregivers who support them. Their background blend technology, creativity, and show a deep commitment to community. Our first presenter is an artist, musician, and videographer, and his wife love books, genealogy, and camping in the mountains. They both love to travel, meet new people, and appreciate the beauty and variety of the world around them. Their journey began with a simple idea that music, stories, and cherished memories create comfort, connection, and opportunity, even in our most challenging moments. Together, they created a solution that is as compassionate as it's practical and ad-free, emotionally intelligent platform that empowers care teams while enriching the lives of those in their communities. They are thrilled to see that technology offers those in memory care a meaningful, person-centered, cost-effective solution. So they raised two daughters and run Echobox from their home in Calgary, Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give a Kiwi welcome. Now, welcome to our virtual floor, Tim and Tannis Roberts. The floor is
Thank
yours,
you
guys.
so much.
What an introduction. Thank you very much. It's a thrill to have the opportunity to speak with you guys today. Thank you very much. I understand that it's very early, and so we'll just try to be as colorful and non-intrusive to your morning process as we can. But feel free to interrupt with any questions. It's just amazing to have this chance to talk about Echobox. Yeah, I guess we should start with maybe a little bit of an introduction. I'm Tim Roberts. This is my wife Tannis. We certainly didn't expect to ever be here. It was just simply because seeing a YouTube video about a gentleman who used the sound of his wife's voice on the answering machine for comfort as she had passed away, and he was a widower, and when he needed a little bit of a pep or he just needed that little special connection with his wife, he would play the answering machine message. And one morning, he woke up to the notification that due to some sort of revamp of the system, they all had to make a new answering machine message, which of course for this gentleman meant that he lost the sound of his wife's voice. So Um, Tanis and I just started thinking, boy, wouldn't it be nice for our grandparents or our older loved ones to have an opportunity to save their memories and digitize their recipes and fishing holes, favorite songs and movies, favorite colors and smells in a way that social media is just, kind of failing miserably at with privacy concerns and advertisements. And when someone passes away, it gets really complicated. So we just were lucky enough to kind of have the time to put a little bit of effort behind a pilot project that basically just captured memories, made sure that you could record your voice, capture favorite songs and movies. And we got some local coverage on the news that went national here in Canada, which was amazing. We kind of used that velocity to shoot for the stars and ask BBC whether we could get on the BBC because that was the actual that was the presentation that we saw the original video about the older senior with his wife's voice on. And so, as luck would have it, we the person that answered the phone over in Leeds, England, I believe, remembered that story or that special from 6 years earlier and said, "Hey, we should do a follow-up on that." So all of a sudden, we were on the BBC News, and our project that went from our napkin to international news in about 18 months. Really thought we were onto something. But luckily, that's when you guys all showed up and told us what we were really working on. We thought we were on our way offering families a digital way to create legacies and remember each other better. But lo and behold, recreation therapists, dementia care specialists like Teepa Snow, senior community specialists were just telling us that this could go a long way besides nostalgia and sentiment for families. Echobox could be a tool. It could address a swelling senior population, senior isolation, senior depression. It could also help with caregiver burnout, work-related stress. It just threw us into a whole new world we didn't expect to be in because right off the bat, we didn't have a technological background. We certainly aren't business tycoons. I don't think anyone would call us that. And we didn't have a caregiving background, much of any sort of knowledge with healthcare. So we were in the deep end about 3 or 4 times over.
Yeah, so we spent about 2 years research and discovering and talking with as many caregivers of every stripe available to us. We redesigned, we got a $100,000 grant from a company, Alberta Innovates, here in Alberta. And we just released, I guess, our new iteration a few months ago. So and we're
Yeah,
still in testing and trials with that.
it's an amazing period of time for us because we are just tipping from using all of the knowledge that come to understand through the co-creation of the new iteration. Really, if it wasn't for rec therapists, if it wasn't for people like Orchidia, people like AJ giving us some time to tell our story, we would just not be where we are today. Every single person we have a conversation with just helps us kind of refocus what Echobox can be. And yeah, luckily enough, we found ourselves now just finally doing the last tweaks, doing some testing. The testing's pretty much over. We're offering some free trials now. So I know I'll probably mention this a couple times throughout this presentation, but please throw your email in the chat, or if you want to get a hold of us at info@echobox.ca, or just check out our website, echobox.ca, to see if you're interested, because we just love chatting with everybody who wants to kind of share their point of view and their stories, and it only helps us. So if we can offer a free trial to those who want to say hello, then that's exactly where we're at right now. We just want to shake hands and that sort of thing. But I think without much further ado, we have grab some popcorn. It's a little early for popcorn, actually. Grab your coffee, and we have about a 4-minute video that kind of goes. It kind of shows where yeah, kind of like the journey, but kind of puts a visual and puts a face on all the kind of yammer that I've been doing. So it's only about 4 minutes, but I think it'll round off kind of like where we've come from.
Definitely.
Let us know if you can't hear it.
Echobox Memory Vault.
So you've heard about Echobox and would like to know a little bit more about what this brand new resource can do, not only for the people in care, but also for the caregivers and teams providing it. In this short video, we'll discuss what Echobox is all about and go over the many benefits seniors and caregivers are now enjoying all around the world. In North America alone, the senior population has exploded past 80 million people and continues to accelerate while healthcare systems struggle with limited time, limited resources, and a constant rotation of staff. Administering showers, ensuring proper food intake, even changing clothes can be incredibly tough, sometimes impossible. Communication suffers, and training up new team members is a never-ending process. Recent numbers show that 60% of staff experience caregiver burnout, and around half of the workforce has quit before their 5th year on the job. As a result, seniors living in these conditions suffer high rates of isolation, senior depression, participate less in group activities, and can even grow combative with those just trying to help. It's a reality we don't really want to think about, but for many, the last chapter can be an uncomfortable, lonely one. We originally created Echobox as a digital legacy technology where families could capture all the things they love about life: recipes, stories, movies, recordings, that sort of thing. But after appearing nationally on CTV here in Canada and then internationally on the BBC out of the UK, all the resulting feedback made one thing clear: caregivers were responding. Senior activities directors, rec therapists, music therapists, memory and dementia care specialists like Teepa Snow telling us that capturing and referencing our favorite things about life carries a power that reaches far beyond sentiment and nostalgia. They spoke of a global shift towards person-centric care and how technologies like ours needed to catch up. We began to see Echobox in a whole new light, a tool that would equip caregivers with personalized guidelines to ease tensions and save time while boosting seniors' quality of life. Through Echobox, someone's favorite songs, childhood memories, or workplace accomplishments would naturally transform into pleasant distractions and familiar conversations, making those showers, meals, and clothing changes not only achievable, but more enjoyable for everyone. New team members would be familiarized with those in their community instantly and effortlessly, and most importantly, the whole team would have access to key information entered by staff members who had come before them. This would ensure that those in care could remain immersed in their favorite sounds, fragrances, and other life comforts, while their care team remained informed and prepared to overcome daily challenges through a loving, person-centric approach. Echobox would not only be greatly benefiting seniors and residents, we'd be directly combating caregiver burnout, high turnover rates, and poor team communication, dissolving frustrations, creating efficiencies, saving time, and saving money. That's a huge win-win for everybody involved. So we got right back to work. We rebranded, designed a newer, simpler model, formed an advisory board, received grant funding from the group Alberta Innovates, appeared on podcasts, more TV shows, magazine articles, began traveling abroad to attend healthcare conferences and seminars, all the while creating an inner community of caregiving professionals who have offered us their collective insight and guidance. We made sure Echobox could be used by everyone, in facilities and long-term care communities, by home care service providers, individual therapists of every stripe, and families wishing to digitally capture special moments and personal treasures for their own safekeeping in a private, ad-free environment. The innovation has been tested all across North America, letters of support are rolling in, and partnerships are now settling into place. It's exciting to see the sudden growth of interest surrounding the technology. We've been told Echobox is revolutionary, a game changer, that we've exposed a gap in the market big enough to fit a market in the gap. Echobox Memory Vault has just entered commercialization in sales and is about to emerge as the world's newest senior healthcare solution. We're seeking out conversations with potential investors, additional partners, and really just want to explore every possibility presented to this unique, groundbreaking technology. If you'd like to learn more about use and functionality, please watch the How Echobox Works video right here on our YouTube channel, and don't hesitate to reach out to us at feedback@echobox.ca. Thanks for your time.
Box Memory Vault.
Uh-oh. Let's do it again, sure.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
we're good.
Awesome. So that kind of just puts a little bit more of a visual to our story there. It certainly shows how rec therapists like specifically have really helped us just kind of realize that there's more of like a healthcare application to this. We've been told by recreation therapists, we've been thanked by them for shining a light on the work that rec therapists do. And we actually feel 180%, like 180 degrees the other way, because if it wasn't for rec therapists, it feels like they're the ones that have given us so much insight about it. And so absolutely thank you to all of you and all of what you do on a day-to-day basis. We've come to learn about things like sundowning. We've come to picture our own parents And what if we're not in the same time zone or even in the same country as our own parents, and what we'd want from those care teams. And all of a sudden, it's just put this perspective into our day-to-day that really does just celebrate the work that you guys are doing. I'd love for my dad to have the best recreation therapist team, in-house with him, or my mom, and making sure that she's, just like, getting through her day to days, but actually kind of enjoying her days today, and putting those pieces in places where caregivers can easily access these person-centric pieces and just really immerse somebody in the sights and sounds and smells that they love about life, even if and this is what kind of means the most to me is people going throughout their dementia journey quite often end up in a state where they are not quite volunteering their comforts. A lot of what they do express ends up being agitation. And with Echobox, if this individual happened to have an Echobox in place, then at least the care team would be able to continue to immerse these individuals in the things that they love about life, even well beyond them being able to express what they love about life. And so it's just been an absolute honor. We just didn't think that this idea of ours could actually fulfill such a big role. And so again, we've got, unless somebody wants has a question burning away there, we can move on to some slides that we have, which kind of address some of the questions that usually bubble up after we've kind of done our intro and shown that video. And so please feel free to, go ahead and interrupt us if we hear a voice or what have you, or if that's all for later, then I'll just carry on here. So the way an Echobox account looks like, you go, first of all, everything starts on our website, echobox.ca. So that's where you're going to learn the most. But your account is structured in a way where you sign up as an administrator, and any size of account, this same sort of structure kind of is in place. So even if you are your own, if you're just working your away as a rec therapist independently, you can be your own administrator and your own caregiver. Or if you have a community and you've got a dozen or so caregivers, then you are the administrator. You invite your caregivers through email after you've created your account. When they accept the invite on those emails, it allows them access as a caregiver to that account. And the administrator can also fill up the account with the storytellers. So those are, in a family's case, a senior loved one. In a rec therapist case, those are the people that you're seeing and getting out there in their day-to-day. And if you are, an executive director of a community, then obviously the storytellers are going to be those in your community. Don't let me do all the talk. I usually end up just doing all the talk, and then I feel bad. So, okay. All right. Well, then this is what a snapshot of one story, what it looks like. Each and every story, you can have a title. So this one is Dorothy's Happy Place. You can have 1,000 words. So even though that's just like a little paragraph, so that's probably about 120 words or so, but you can really kind of put a nice body of writing towards whatever it might be. You can also put active links. And so if we're talking about recipes or songs, you can have multiple active links in there and be able to access that information just like at the click of a finger. As you can see down there, you can also add pictures. You can put 3 pictures in. You can put a video recording in of varying length depending on the quality of the video because of the data storage and all that. But it's typically around a half a minute of a video and a half of a minute of an audio recording. So even if it is just like a mug that you picked up on a journey somewhere, or someone talking about a particular place that they remember in childhood, you can really kind of dial in on that. And whether you are an activities director, life enrichment coordinator, rec therapist, loved one, what we're really trying to key in is on what really makes people tick and what's going to put a smile on their face on a day-to-day basis. And of course, the idea is this is just one story, but Dorothy, of course, if Echobox gets off its feet, then seniors everywhere would it be represented with multiple stories entered by whoever might be on the team that is talking with Dorothy that day, or who has that interest, or a visiting loved one that might be able to put some information in there as well. We're often asked just to kind of simplify the benefits, and so the benefits are kind of like multi-level here. To families that are looking for a place for their mom or dad, or a team that is going to keep mom and dad healthy and happy and out there and engaged. Well, if they know that Echobox is being used by the care team or the therapists that are looking after mom and dad, obviously that's going to go a long way to assure them. To the seniors themselves, obviously they're surrounded by the things that they love about life. They have a genuine connection to staff. Hopefully this is going to affect their participation rates. It'll lower their rates of senior isolation and depression. And to the caregivers and therapists, we have been told on over and over again how greater communication is greatly needed. Post-it notes just don't do it. Repetitive phone calls to loved ones asking for suggestions, saying things like, you know, your mom is just a little agitated this evening. Is there anything you can think of that'll help her calm down in time for bed? We've heard that these calls happen multiple times a week, and of course, the caregiver is just trying to do their best, and the senior loved one is just trying to kind of keep from ripping their hair out by saying, you've called 3 times about this already in the last 2 weeks. So we're hoping that that has a huge effect there. And on the rotating door of caregivers, we've come to learn that you know, there is a lot of staff turnaround, and for a new staff member, this is like a cheat sheet to genuinely know what makes people tick in their community. And not only that, but when you lose one of those key caregivers, a lot of times the information just goes with them. And with Echobox, if it's in place and those caregivers are all making contributions to the system, then when you lose a great caregiver, you don't necessarily lose all those excellent key points that help the population or the community go through their day-to-day. And lastly, but not leastly, of course, we're hoping that facilities that have Echobox can not only obviously point to the person-centric care and the emphasis on that sort of focus that they put on, but you know, if Echobox is adopted and starts working away in those services, and we're hoping eventually that Echobox is almost like a have or have not type thing, and people are looking for places that have Echobox in place for their loved ones. This one is it's almost the same thing as the last one. It's just the negative instead of the positive. Of course, to families, they're concerned about where their loved one is. They want to make sure that they're they're in the hands of someone who truly cares, and they don't want to be receiving repetitive phone calls. Seniors' feelings of distrust. You know, generalized programs like music therapists have said, oh my goodness, this would be great so that I can actually key into what people's favorite songs are at a glimpse, instead of kind of showing up with my 60s songbook and kind of like making everyone kind of generally happy with the songs of the day that were kind of loved back in those generations. Again, the post-it notes or the repetitive phone calls, no key knowledge from previous staff. And it would be an honor to know that we are affecting caregiver burnout and work-related stress. This is just Echobox has pulled us into a place where, boy, we really hope we can deliver this, guys. And it's you guys that are gonna, you know, help us by just letting us chat about it and let the awareness kind of tip out there. But yeah, we're hoping that we can actually make a big impact on the whole senior healthcare world, whether it's recreation therapists or life activities directors, all that sort of thing. The whole cast of the amazing people that we've come to know.
Yeah.
Okay, and so I know I'm kind of charging ahead here, but a lot of times people are like, so what does it cost? How does it work? To cover, we're pathetically non-money driven, and our development our development company is always telling us that we need to charge more, simplify our messaging, all that sort of stuff. So at least we've simplified our messaging. And it's $1 a day per storyteller. So if that's me and my father, and I'm just like hanging out, or me and my mom, and we're just kind of collecting things in the family sense, that's $1 a day. If it is a community or a memory care unit that has 30 beds, it would be $30 a day. And the first question we get, and actually this came from an executive director who eventually took us on as a trial because it clicked as soon as because her concern was, we have like 132 beds. How are we possibly supposed to justify $132 a day out of nowhere for this kind of lovey-dovey experimental kind of technology that you're presenting us with? And the way that we anticipate market adoption is actually through a completely non-frictional way. We just would, you know, for communities or houses or facilities that are interested in adopting Echobox, we just become one of their perks. People can opt to either, have Echobox being their loved one part of Echobox or not. And the way that we kind of broke that down was here in Alberta, it's our province here, and on average, a senior residence, it costs about $50,000 plus tax for a senior to receive care, and that's whatever care they're getting, whether it's with or without Echobox sort of thing. What we're trying to say as a dollar a day, at a dollar a day, it's only $365 on top of 50,000 that these people are already paying. And what it does, it ensures that the $50,000 that you're spending is also going towards, the team that's looking after your loved one, the music therapists that come in, the cooks that come in, the rec therapists that come in. All of a sudden, this sort of focus is put on your loved one. And for me, I know personally, there's not a chance that I would blink for a second to add $365 on 50,000, knowing that my mom or dad is going to be surrounded by the things that they love in life. And on top of that, yeah, and so we just saw that as soon as we said that, it kind of just clicked on that
Yeah.
on Sarah's face, and she just said, "Oh, okay, I get it. It can be part of our perks. I got it. Yeah." And now they're happily running a trial for us, so that it just shows that we really are trying to do everything we can. We can even do a profit sharing sort of idea where if somebody says, "I really like Echobox. We've got 36 beds. We're going to pay $36 a day." And then we're going to turn around and offer Echobox at $1.50 a day or $2 a day to those that are coming in. It can actually be a profit sharing model if it has to go that way. We're a little nervous about all of that, but we have to just kind of take it on the chin and see where we go. But we're trying to make it just a win-win-win-win for every single person involved, whether it's the family, the senior, the therapist, or the person running the facility. Our timeline, we're almost through here. Our timeline, 3 to 5 months. We are continuing doing some more webinars like we're doing right now. We're trying to offer some more any sort of free trials or agreements, partnerships we can make. We're talking with investors, which again makes us kind of sweat bullets, but it's where we are.
That's what we got to do.
Right. And in the next 5 to 7 months, we're going to kind of wrap up these trials. We have Q&A forms that are actually based on the World Health Organization's Q&A about quality of life. We've also got some forms of our own just that try to address how streamlined Echobox might be making a caregiver's day-to-day, getting through a shower, getting through the changes, meal times, trying to get that sleeping pattern regulated, all of that sort of stuff. And then in 7 to 12 months, we're hoping to ball all of that information up and finally start marketing, because this has been like half a decade of buildup and it's finally here. We've come through the thick and thin, and luckily we're still on our feet, still swinging. And right now, again, anybody who wants to put their emails in the chat or contact us at info@echobox.ca, or just visit our website, echobox.ca, you'll kind of get a good feel for what we're all about. Here's just another couple of samples. I know that we've already looked at Dorothy's Happy Place, Anna's specialties. Anna, when she was a child in Norway, grew up right by her mom's side in the kitchen and just loves to cook. And so her care team, I can't remember if it was her birthday or not, just put on a show with all of these things that she used to cook. So they went shopping and kind of made her day, and she shared these Fatigueman cookies. And that last one on the right there is more kind of geared towards a music therapist. But one of our favorite stories is a gentleman who had a little trouble being told to go to sleep. Well, if you told him to go to sleep, that was probably the worst thing to do, because he just dug his heels in. There's, certain people have certain things, and this gentleman just sleep time was kind of a struggle. But one day, a show came on called MASH. I'm not sure if MASH is all that big a hit down in New Zealand. Okay. It's like a war type 70s Korean War type show. And the intro came on, and this gentleman jumped to his feet and said, "Oh, MASH is on, time for bed, everybody." And he said goodnight to everyone, washed up and went to bed. And so his care team was just like, "Oh my goodness." And they made sure to write that little key piece of information down. And for us, it was just such a welcome story, because that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're just trying to offer these empty pockets or empty plates, so for people just to fill up with all the stuff they love about life. And from what we've learned, not because we came out of the box thinking this was going to be the next big thing for senior healthcare, it's just what people have told us, is that it's just quite a simple formula, really. You just surround people by the things that they love, and you do it in the most simple, respectful way that you possibly can. And so that's what we're trying to do with zero advertising, and just honoring what really makes people tick. On the left there, you can see the topics that currently reside in the technology. So that's where you kind of go to capture your stories. We've built it in a way where we'll be able to add some more. Obviously, Higgins says hello. But it's a work in progress, and we're super happy to hear what people might suggest for our next topics. And on the right-hand side there is one of our biggest champions early on, Teepa Snow. She's just an amazing dementia care specialist. She runs the PAC program. A lot of rec therapists kind of might recognize her. And she offered her support, gave us a letter of support, had us on her show. It put more wind in our sails, and we can't thank her enough for sure. Here's some of our New Zealand sort of influence here, or all the way back, I think it was 2023, we got some support from Dementia Hawke's Bay. We're actually just in the process of getting in touch with them now, because down there you can see they'll be happy to kind of try out some trials and testing with us. And so that's finally where we're at now. And on the left-hand side, we honor every partnership we have. It's just amazing to know that people see something in us and that we get to chat with people like yourself. Orchidea was amazing, just getting us kind of on board and hearing our story and helping us out. We've got similar partnerships with the CTRA here in Canada, some provincial ones with the Aotearoa and the BCTRA. We are in talks with the ARTA in Australia.
Yeah.
And we just want to keep the dominoes falling. It's that the last couple of weeks has just been like crazy for us. So this is really, really good timing for sure. This is kind of where it gets a little boring. Some people ask about like privacy and ownership. Usually this is where we direct these questions to our development team, because we're more of the creatives behind all of this when it gets to the important stuff, like all the lights seem to turn off in my head. So anyways, we just wanted to put this up there just so people would have a glimpse at the fact that we're very aware at HIPAA compliancy. Up here in Canada, it's called FOIP. I'm not exactly sure what that would be in New Zealand, but it's basically a regulating body that makes sure that information stored in stuff like Echobox is not intruding on medical information and revealing stuff about people's private sort of details sort of stuff. So obviously we're very concerned about that, because we want to stand out from the existing problems out there with social media and Facebook. And so here's just some boring details, but they're there in case you would like to ask about them. And I think that's pretty much it. We've got if you check out that little QR code, that'll take you to our website, echobox.ca. Our phone number there, I'm sure you'd have to add a couple numbers to reach us from where you're coming from, but we would love a call if that's the case. Email us at info@echobox.ca. What did I miss? Did I miss anything?
We're on LinkedIn and Instagram.
Yes, we're on LinkedIn and Instagram, and I still do a dance every time you get a little notification. You've got a follower. So please, if you're listening, just take the 2 seconds to go onto Instagram, and you can find us at Echobox Memory Vault. And same with LinkedIn. And honestly, don't be shy. We would just love to say hello. We were just trying to make it work. It's a mom and pop operation here, trying to carry it as far as we possibly can. And so we just can't thank you guys enough. Unless we've forgotten something, I think that's
we were just we also just started our Instagram account, Tim. So we're gonna follow you.
Oh, awesome. Okay, we'll follow you right back for sure.
Right. So before we open the floor for the question and answer part, which I know is going to be very interesting, as I've seen a lot of people very interested about this new technology and this new piece of work that you made, guys. And we can really feel the passion. So thank you. And you've been tipping your hat to Orchidea. Orchidea is actually here today. She is listening. So I'm going to give the first opportunity for her to say something. But before that, can we ask everyone that is on this call, if you can, please turn on your video and or your camera, or Orchidea is driving. So Yeah, please be safe. Don't turn on your camera, Orquídea.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, turn on your camera for those who can, so that we can take a group photo for today's early morning session that we have. All right. So 5 more seconds for those everyone who wants to join our group photos. 5, 4, 3, kapay. All right, everybody, look at the camera and say cheese. All right, one more time, just for security. Everyone, look at the camera and say Echobox.
Echobox, yeah.
Amazing. All right. So the floor is now open for some question and answer. And if you have any question, you can either type it on the chat box and I can read it for you, or you can now unmute yourselves and actually interact and engage with Tim and Tannis, who is working. So if you're still coming up with your question, let me begin with the first one that I think I had earlier. So you've briefly touched on privacy and confidentiality area that you have covered, Tim, there. Have you had in your trial already anything that had raised concern with regards to, privacy breach, or too, what do you call this, too sensitive information that was used in the technology, such as personal data's bank accounts and stuff like that?
No, not
Yeah.
as of yet.
More in maybe in more of like a bureaucratic sort of in a forward thinking sort of way. We did approach Shanix on the east coast of Canada, and they were super happy about taking us on and running a trial. But as the notice got up their corporate ladder, they wanted to make sure that the commercial agreement was the way that they wanted
master
it,
terms.
which kind of was interesting because we had to let our lawyer know. And so they made some suggestions to adjust the master terms. We gave it to our lawyer. Our lawyer said, yeah, that's just that's as easy as doing this and that, to make sure that they are comfortable with it, sent it back
Right.
to them. And we're just in the process of getting that green light. And so nothing yet. It's funny, along this journey, we have kind of heard all sorts of things. One person was even like, well, technically a favorite meal is sensitive medical information. And we were
Mm,
like, well, I guess you know what? I guess that's the fight that we're going to have to take on. If that sort of pragmatic red tape is going to keep people from enjoying their favorite meals, then we're happy to go into the ring and try to make that possible for people. I
right.
don't think that surrounding my mom or dad by their favorite songs and favorite food is infringing on their privacy. We're more than willing to entertain everybody's concerns about that, because everyone has a different point of view, and we want to respect and learn from those. But
Right.
but yeah, overall, there has been no problems yet, knock on wood. And
Yeah.
we've just kind of learned that we have to embrace everything, whether it is a future sort of, we have got to iron out a wrinkle at some point. That's only it's only gonna expose itself if we kind of move forward and get into it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And take it one day at a time, hey.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
I
right.
have another hard hat question, but I'll reserve it. I'll put in some sugar first. There was a question here from an anonymous member that was put it on the chat box. Sorry. She said that is this only for facility? Can you use it personally for your family members or for your grandparents, for your dad, and would the price be the same?
Yeah.
Yes, so the price is the same, and the same sort of structure exists. Of course, you'll be calling yourself technically a caregiver instead of son or daughter. You would also be able to invite the rest of your family as caregivers. So, depending on who the storyteller would be, whether that is one loved one who you want to capture all of their stories because they're getting older, or a generation worth, or just entirely start telling everybody's stories. A whole family could actually open up an Echobox account, invite them all as caregivers, and then populate that account as them as storytellers as well. So all of a sudden, it would be like an ancestral, like an interactive ancestry type thing. Um,
Kapay.
we're kind of willing to we're much more dressed up as a business to business, trying to get the attention of communities and facilities and care teams because there's just so many balls in the air. There's so many spokes of
That's
interest
right.
from palliative care, from speech therapy, from special needs children, from First Nations, just passing on oral histories and traditions. People like there's just so many different things that Echobox could do. We
Mm,
just have to make sure that we float the boat. So more or
right.
less right now we're dressed up as a business to business, but there are people enjoying Echobox simply in their own home. And actually, Orchidia had an amazing point when we met with her earlier in the year. She suggested that she actually saw maybe the way that Echobox would move forward would be families creating an Echobox that represents their loved one. And so that when they transitioned into care, then the family could actually invite the caregivers into their
To join
private,
in.
right? And so that dodges the whole sort of compliancy
Yeah,
medical because it's the family's account. And so
absolutely.
so many possibilities, you guys, so
Yeah.
many. It's at the
And
point
and
now.
I really understand and I really support that thought, Tim, that you have to be business to business at the moment because otherwise it's just gonna be too big a dragon for you. But in saying that, people here that I can see some people that are joining our call today are actually business minded people as well. So this is a great opportunity to put it out in the community, not just in the facility, and maybe be your representatives in New Zealand after the trial and whatnot. Yeah, so
Oh, music to our ears,
yeah.
you guys. New
There
Zealand
was a
has.
there was a quick follow-up question before I ask some other guests to come here. So they said that that person who asked said, is there now a technology that can, if for example that loved one passed away, we can download or populate the entire data into a tribute printed copy or something like that.
Okay, so awesome question. I'll try to answer that because I got excited about that as shortly as I can. The first account that actually started on Echobox was a retrospective account for a loved one of a friend just down the road. I'm like looking right at their house through the window right now. Their grandmother passed away and their family all got together. Echobox was still just a pilot, sort of geeky little robot thing, but it was all a retrospective piece about their loved one. And so they created this in memoriam piece, everything that the family could think of. To address the downloadable printable thing, when we developed Echobox, that was within our cast of functionalities. As the development went on, and you guys, technology is so much more expensive than we thought. We got $100,000 grant, and I think that's covered about 1/6 of what we've put into it. And so it's a little dicey, but we're trying to put it, as close to. We're just trying to make it float and make it available for everybody. Um, and
Yeah,
did I address the question or?
well, that will be put in place. It's not there now.
Oh yeah,
And
sorry.
so now what's going to happen is we can actually kind of have that account kind of frozen. And when we do have the ability for that download, then we'll be emailing everybody and saying, hey, do you want the download?
To
And that's
download.
everything else. So
Yeah,
that's good.
it's such an important piece to us. Our developers actually have it at the very top of our spreadsheet for our next pieces. Is that because I just put myself in anybody's shoes. If their mother or father passed away, and there was this collection of kind of like things that they loved about life and their recordings of their voice and everything that they loved, then I would certainly
That's a
want a
treasure.
one-time download or a printable piece. And so
Mm.
it's at the top of the list, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, and I
Well
do want to
done.
circle back to the cost. I just wanted to point out that at $1 a day, it's also like we're doing it $1 a day for you guys as well. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just a New Zealand dollar a day. It's
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, maybe that's, and again, our developers just scratch their heads, but, we're just trying to make friends. $1 a day in Canada, $1 a day in Australia, $1 a day in New Zealand, and then, and it's $1 a day in the States, although I think that means that they actually have to pay a little more and everyone else is getting a bit of a deal. And then in the UK and in the Euro, we had to call it at 50 cents to try to find some sort of thing. But yeah, we're hoping to run with that kind of catchphrase, dollar a day care. I
Yeah.
certainly wouldn't blink if it was my parents in that position. So that's what we're trying to work with, is that angle.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Anybody on the floor wants to unmute themselves and give a question? The floor is open. I can see Debbie. Debbie, you're unmuted. Do you have a question, Debbie?
I have found this actually really, really interesting. I'm sure it can be used in our facilities. It's really out there and it is required. So I look forward to all the information that comes through to us through all aged care sectors. Thank you.
Kapay.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. Every piece of advice, every criticism, it's gold to us. You know, we just have to. We're all ears. We're, you know, hearts and eyes are wide open. And if we're going to float this, it's only going to be because we've done a lot of listening and a little less talking. And so, thank you very much. We'd love to chat with you.
Awesome. Right, Anna, I can see you unmuting. So go for
Thank
it, Anna.
you, Morena. Thank you for the presentation. Could you please forward to my manager, because she's the manager and I love to have this program in our facility, because we have some of the residents stay in the rooms because they are hospital level dementia, and this program will be great for the one-on-one interactions for our dementia residents, especially for the people who stay most of the day in the rooms and they didn't want to go out to Bupa Sunset Red Home. Please, I will appreciate it. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much, you guys. And you know what Anna says there is kind of the struggle that we're facing right now. A lot of the blue collar worker bees, so to speak, they really see a place for this. They really see how this can make a difference. It's just getting through the door into the corporate world and making sure that the executive director or the CEO has time to even kind of entertain a conversation. And so it's hard to get those people's attention a lot of the times. And so we've realized that, you know, rec therapists, as much as like we're providing a tool that might help you guys with your work, it's going to be rec therapists that help Echobox stay afloat, because you're the ones that can kind of see it for what it is. A lot of other people just kind of shake their heads and they say, nurses are too busy. I don't know what you're wasting your money on. And it's like, oh, we've talked to an investor that basically said, I've got a friend with a senior care facility. I don't know what you guys just wait, how much time you guys just wasted. They don't have any time for this sort of thing. They're hardly keeping their head above water as it is. And it's hard to hear, because the next person we hear says, where have you guys been for so long? This is exactly what we need. And so it's been a roller coaster for sure. But I think we're finally we're out of the development stage. We're kind of up out of the mine shaft of planning and thinking, and we're blinking at the bright light and talking to people in New Zealand, and things are just really exciting right now. And so for what it's worth, thank you, New Zealand. You guys stood out. You have stood out in the last 2 or 3 years, ever since we kind of started reaching out and trying to get you know, on board with people, whether it was the NZDSRT
RT.
or
That's
yeah,
right.
I don't usually try to just wing it. And I think Aged Plus magazine supported us. You know, Dementia New Zealand. It's just it's you guys have really stood out. So thank you very much. Above and beyond the rec
Amazing.
therapy you do.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and we just really like to also hat tip to you guys that, you know, in the presentation, when we had our conversation as well, was really evident that you're doing this out of passion and out of aroha, or that means love in Maori. Because, you know, when we talk about, you know, the business side, the cost, you were really ready to brush it off. Although that's important, you really clearly say that's not the most important thing. So thank you very much for doing that, and for working working out of love as well. And in saying that, we would like to let you know that we're actually looking for and we are really appreciating the free trial that you're giving, and you know, the opportunity for us to try this, you know, for free. So we're actually now looking for a representative to and a facility to also partner with us with that trial, and then would we would be happy for the society as a organization to lobby for the managers and for the CEOs, as what Anna is saying, that, you know, in order for it to be more credible, we can be the spokesperson. So we have talked about that in our recent board meetings for the society. So that is a space that we are really excited about. So please do engage. For everyone who is on this call who wants to participate on, you know, the trial, please engage, contact us, and contact Tim and Tannis as well for that. All right, so I think I have one last hard hat question that I can share if there is no one else that wants to give a comment or give their question. Going once, twice. Yeah, so I think let's just end Tim and Tannis with this hard hat question that I have recently encountered in the dementia space, actually. So I'm really proud of you guys that you are talking to the right people. You know, Tipa Snow, and to the recreational therapist community all over the world, because we know that um, um yeah, you know, dementia, Tipa brilliantly put it in place that we have to be wary when someone calls themselves as dementia expert, because there's actually no expert yet in dementia, because it's a ocean that is yet to be discovered. When we think that we have the answer, we are thrown a curveball again that would you know, sweep us off our feet and all that. So we it's really evident that you are continuously learning and continuously improving as well. So I had encountered recently a word that is very interesting. So it's called over assessment. So I think that our tool is a great tool for assessment, right? Assessing our resident and assessing our clients' wants, preferences, previous life stories, and whatnot. So in dementia, there is a word they said that is a recent discussion or a recent correro that they're talking about in dementia, over assessment. Whereas since people living with dementia sometimes lose their filter, so sometimes their true preference actually are clouded because of the condition, right? So a very clear and simple example is a family man that is actually a closet LGBTQ member. So he actually has, you know, inclinations to. I mean, he likes male boys, but he has a family and he wants to keep that. That's his personality. He wants to suppress his being gay. And you know, and all his life he is a family man. He's straight and all his life, but because of dementia that filter loses. And because of the assessment of the caregiver, because of asking, you know, the story, the his closeted, I'm not sure if I'm making sense, but I you're nodding, so I think you're following me, you know. So
Mhm.
he's being closeted gay, who is what that's supposed to be, you know, not to be shared to the world, was shared to the world, because that was assessed by a wonderful caregiver who did that on, you know, on good faith and on good terms. Yeah. So you know, so what are your thoughts on that? And um
Oh,
yeah.
I can't thank you enough for presenting it. I mean, I know we've come to learn that moving Echobox forward is just going to be a learning curve. And for a while there, we thought that we would eventually get around the corner, and there was a place where we would get it or it. But there are just going to be things to learn for us forever. And so we're going to have to try to navigate exact nuances like you just suggested. Our hearts are in the right place and we have our best intentions, but that doesn't mean that we're going to kind of, you know, step on toes, make people uncomfortable in a completely unforeseen sort of way. Um, I guess that's just going to be like that's going to have to be life for Echobox right now. It's just going to have to take it on the chin. We are going to be as sensitive and as accommodating as we possibly can, so that we don't paint people into a corner like that, and we don't expose anything that is more than just something that's going to kind of put a smile on their face and get them through their day. So that's going right into my notebook. That's going right into our notebook. Because those are the exact sort of things that we want to make sure that we're not passing by in our excitement to get something moving past to some other place and to miss on something like that. So thank you. Yeah, the more conversations we can have with people that are willing to ask these hard hat questions, the faster we're going to get to where we need to go, for sure.
Yeah.
Amazing. And that I mean that awareness that it's a continuous learning forever is just, I think, the best foundation for growth in all sense. So thank you so much. Right. So everyone, thank you very much for your morning, and thank you for joining us. It has been indeed a great session again of growing together and learning together. So all the way from Canada, Tim and Tannis, thank you very much. Aroha, which means love, from all of us here in New Zealand, and we really hope for the best for you guys and this initiative, and we really hope and excited to partner with you and to see where it takes us. And in saying that, we just continue to fill in fuel and fill in love to our mission, which is to continue to enhance the quality of life of the people that we care and support. So if you can allow me to also close with a blessing, and I invite everyone to please put themselves in a respectful place, and let's close this session with a blessing. Kia hora te marino, kia whakapapa po namu te moana, he horahi matato e te rangi nei, aroha atu, aroha mai, tato I tato katoa, which means may peace be widespread, may the sea be like greenstone, a pathway for us today and every day. Let us give love, receive love, show respect for each other, bind us together. Amen. Amen. Thanks very much, everyone. Thanks, Tim and Tannis.
Thank
Have a
you.
great
Thank
day,
you.
you
Thank you so
guys.
much, everybody.
Sinabi mo, dali lang po. Hindi